Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. In today's episode, we are breaking down a section from my book, The Art and Science of Storytelling, and I'm going to be talking about the point of a story. The point of a story is to make a point. What I mean by that is that there are different points out there. Some of these stories that people create are to educate others. Other ones are to entertain. And other times you get a blend of education, entertainment, intermingling, and you get edutainment. Amazing. Every now and then, though, we have to ask ourselves the question where can the point of a story be to not have a point? And I believe the answer is yes. All stories do not need a point. And nowadays, there are a lot of different creators that are taking a risk. The risk to tell purposeless stories. Now, if you're, let's say, a storyteller that is in the habit of always putting some sort of lesson and morale in your story, then you're going to feel somewhat icky to tell a purposeless story because it feels like you're blowing into a balloon, but you're not tying the knot. It feels like you're not doing the job. I want you to practice with it anyways, though, because to truly master the art of storytelling, you need to be versatile. You need to be able to educate, entertain, sometimes have a lesson, and other times your stories have no freaking point. I'll tell you how to ease yourself into this because I get it. It's very difficult. And I practice every now and then on my newsletter, which you should sign up for, ArmaniTalks.com/newsletter, where routinely I'm practicing with telling a story every single day. And every now and then, I'm like, I don't really have anything to say for today, but I don't want to break this streak. What am I going to talk about today? And this is when I learned the first step to ease yourself into a purposeless story. You say something along the lines of, today's talk is just a few things I've noticed. There is no lesson. You just blatantly state that. As soon as you state that, you're giving yourself permission to go with the flow and say whatever is on your mind. From there, what you want to do next is just say some observations on things that you've been noticing. A few of the recent purposeless stories that I've been sharing, one is how bathrooms have been changing, especially in public locations. When I went to Atlanta recently, there were two spots that I went to where I noticed something. Before, whenever I saw bathrooms, I saw one for men and one for women. But this time around, I just saw bathroom. And when there were bathrooms for men and women, normally two lines would form. One line would be for all men, and the other line would be for all women. But when you have one of these things that's just a bathroom, what happens is that the lines intermingle with one another. So when I was waiting in line for one of these restaurants, the bathrooms, I saw like two women in front of me, a guy behind me, and two women behind him. I was like, whoa, the lines went from like this to slowly mixing with one another. This was simply an observation. I didn't have a lesson or anything like that. Another purposeless story that I said was, I've been going to different spots recently and I've been noticing something. The rise of new-aged beggars. These are the guys that are setting up shop outside another shop. As soon as you're trying to walk into the other shop, these guys will stop you and be like, "Sir, do you have a moment?" And they're trying to collect a signature from you. They want to get some donations. They want to sell you some candy. They have some sort of cause. Old school beggars, they're the kind of guys that smelled really bad and wanted to ask you for money. But you felt good saying no to them because you thought, what if I give him my money and he spends it on alcohol? That was a clear justification. With new age beggars, though, it's a little different because if you turn down their cause, they will have you questioning your philosophy. So nowadays, I've just been seeing the rise of new aged beggars in different spots that I'm going to. I went to Walmart, I went to Moe's, I went to Panera Bread, all in the same day, and I saw 3 different sets of new aged beggars. Now, if someone were to be like, yo, Armani, well, what's your resolution to this? I'd be like, I don't know. And that is one of the biggest benefits of telling purposeless stories. It allows you to admit, I don't know. Silly people, immature people always claim they know everything. They feel ashamed to say something like, I don't know. But mature people, they proudly say, I don't know, but I'm willing to learn. And when you tell some purposeless stories, it allows you to transition from an immature, silly mindset more into the mature mindset of, I don't know. And just because you don't know right now does not mean that you may not know in the future or someone else may not know in the future. Because here's where this plot twist comes. Even though we're telling purposeless stories now, who is to say in the future it is not going to become purposeful? And what I mean by this is, let's say in the future, someone discovers my purposeless story of the new aged beggars. This guy, thus far, he's been traveling to all these places with his wife, and he just keeps seeing new aged beggars left and right, asking him for signatures, asking him for money, asking him for donations, etc. He's pissed. The angrier that he gets, the angrier that his wife gets at him. The wife is like, what a bad person you are. Don't you understand? I mean, these guys have a cause. You should be more supportive. So he comes home, and he's browsing through the internet, hoping to see more insights in regards to this. He discovers my purposeless story. And at that point, in that moment, he no longer feels alone. He's like, wait a minute. Someone else has noticed this. I'm not the only one noticing it. And now he may have that desire to find a resolution. So what started off as a purposeless story, in the future led to purpose. Every now and then, you want to experiment, my friend, with telling purposeless stories, because this is a great way in order to keep your storytelling muscle sharp. The easiest way to delve into this type of storytelling is to just say, today's talk, it's not going to have a lesson. I'm just noticing some thoughts out loud, and then you dive in. If you enjoyed today's talk and you want to learn more about storytelling, be sure to check out my book, The Art and Science of Storytelling. Within this book, you will learn much more about plot twists, creating vivid settings, creating relatable characters, and much more. Check out the book in the link in the description box, the pinned comment, or go on ArmaniTalks.com and grab your copy today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.